Hello friends, I am working on a painting that I'm going to use as an example for a wedding shower. The hostess asked me to facilitate an art activity as part of the shower and include a journaling starter kit for each of the guests. What a fun idea. The shower theme is wildflowers, so I created 4 sketches and then bundled them together with my favorite supplies, a blank journal, some watercolors, a small brush, a large brush, a Uniball Deluxe black waterproof pen, a white jelly roll pen, and a pencil and eraser. Then I added this entry to my journal using part of one of the included sketches to begin with, and I'm demonstrating an option for tracing it into their new journal. That's just for anyone who wants a little help getting started. The hostess wanted a fun activity for the shower, but also wanted to equip them in hopes that they would continue the practice of journaling once the shower was over and done with. The other day, I received an informational email from my health insurance company, which is Kaiser, and they're always trying to inspire us to better health habits. But their little tickler was named Why Everyone Should Keep a Journal. And among the 7 benefits they listed were track progress and growth, gain self-confidence, reduce stress and anxiety, and find inspiration. Well, I couldn't agree with them more. And including in scripture in that journaling book just multiplies the benefits that you'll get from journaling. So back to our video. With this one, I demonstrated a couple of ways to transfer an image into our journals using a light box, which is like holding it up to a window, and scribbling some pencil on the other side of the image, then laying that side down where you want it to end up and tracing the image as a second option. The lead from the pencil scribbles transfers right onto the page. And rather than transfer the whole image, I wanted to show a loose option for also completing whatever we're going to put in the boots, which are wildflowers, their theme. I added water to the colors that I think I'll use, sticking with yellows and oranges and trying not to choose colors that wouldn't turn into a muddy mess when mixed, knowing that yellow and orange and reds would be fine together. And then I also added a splash of violet as kind of an accent and just splattered it around in random shapes that'll become flowers once I get my magic black pen out. And then some green swatches here and there for leaves or greenery in the background. I'm applying sprinkles of color around the bouquet, starting with the large brush to produce some big sprinkles and working my way down to splatters from a toothbrush, which leaves very small, tiny, fine sprinkles. I wasn't shy about the water usage and saturated a couple of areas as I was laying those flowers down, and that will show the effect of some potential puddling. I'm going to use some craft level watercolor pencils, or I'm going to bring them anyway. I probably won't use them, but I did want to demonstrate it. So I scribbled out a quick flower to show the effect of the water on them in case someone wants to give them a try. Once everything dries, we'll get to bring out my favorite waterproof pen. The black ink will add some contrast and it'll start bringing everything to life. After outlining the boots, I started looking for flowers within the dabs of yellow, orange, and violet. In the absence of anything definite, I just doodled one. I couldn't imagine what that blob in the lower left corner might be, so I simply drew little circles within it and called it good. I saved the stems for last so I could decide if I wanted them in front of the flowers or behind them. And I added more color to some of the flowers and more layers here and there, just to give it more depth. I kept working on it even after the camera was off because it was so fun, and there's always room for a little more something here and there. I'll keep adding layers to the boots. They're getting a nice worn look with all those layers. The bride we're celebrating at the shower loves the outdoors, kayaking, hiking, all things outdoors. And so I've sketched patches of wildflowers in front of a tent with pine trees and mountains in the background, and another one with big sunflowers next to a kayak, and then a bouquet of sunflowers wrapped in a ribbon. And in the bride's bundle of journaling supplies, I've added some extra sketches with traditional wedding day scenes, like a cake and champagne glasses, a wedding dress, all kinds of things that can be traced and colored in or modified to whatever she wants. I'm excited about celebrating this special event with all of them and hope they enjoy a special art project to go along with their day. These boots are starting to look like they've been on some hikes now. Those splatters are adding life to the background, and the additional layers of color against the black ink is giving it more contrast and looking good. After filming, I also painted some of the stems that are black now, gave them a little green tint, and went over some of the black lines to thicken them, especially on the boots. There's room at the bottom, I noticed, to demonstrate an easy way to add interest to any lettering they might want to do. So I wrote out the theme word, Wildflowers. Then I used some scribbles to darken the downstrokes of each letter. And you can pull up a font on a Word document that has thickened downstrokes just to know the typical place where you would thicken them. And I eventually added a swipe of the orange paint to those downstrokes as well. Now I get to have a fun reminder in my journal representing the special time that I know we're all going to have at the shower as we honor the bride, celebrating together she prepares for her wedding. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.